This is Southern Cross News with Rick Fontaine.
Good evening. Tasmania's Italian community is rallying to support the family of a man who died following a car crash at Huonville last week. The family taking solace that his organs have already saved several lives. A fundraiser is being organised so his body can be flown home to Italy.
21-year-old Alessandro Borci was on a trip of a lifetime, backpacking and working in Australia when tragedy struck. He was the passenger in a vehicle when the driver lost control in Huonville, smashing into this pole.
He was actually brain dead on impact. But it was absolutely immediate, no pain.
Last night he died in the Royal Hobart Hospital, his loved ones shattered.
The family, is struggling with everything, the emotional, but also the reality also is that Tina lost her only son and her only child.
Dino Ottavi has been the translator for Alessandro's mum, who flew to Australia with a friend as soon as she heard. His father unable to make the journey due to ill health.
The last thing that she heard from Alessandro was that he was having a great time and that he had plans to become a graphic artist. He found himself and he found some calling.
His life was just beginning and it's been taken away.
But there's one point of solace. His organs donated to those in need and have already saved 5 lives, including a premature baby and a pregnant woman.
Alessandro was a very positive spirited man, an incredibly fun-loving guy, and his wishes would have been exactly that.
Hopefully the community can see that he's actually giving back and we should help them in return.
Italian clubs around Australia are rallying around his loved ones. Next Saturday night, the Hobart branch will host a fundraiser, hoping to raise at least $15,000 for the family.
It's going to be one of those days where it's going to be a bit sad, a bit happy, a bit humorous.
We're going to have a 3-course meal. Look, it's only $35, but also we're going to have the normal fundraising activities. No doubt there'll be some reflection.
This money to go towards flying his body home to Italy so his father and wider family can say their final goodbyes. Repatriation costing around $25,000 in addition to legal and healthcare costs.
And it would be a struggle to come to Australia and deal with all the issues that they have to deal with. Not only the sadness of it all, but also the financial burden.
Those involved wanting to thank emergency services and the Huonville community for their support.
And she's incredibly grateful.
Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Authorities have detected fruit fly larvae on Flinders Island, the first time it's been found in locally grown fruit. The biosecurity scare isn't expected to impact Tasmanian growers, but the public is being urged to be vigilant of the destructive pest.
Nick Hansen is a 4th-generation orchardist. Employing around a dozen permanent staff, his business relies on Tasmania's strict biosecurity.
That is one of the underpinning elements to our market access into all parts of the world. Without fruit fly-free status, that would severely jeopardise our access into places like China.
Fruit growers alerted to reports of a Queensland fruit fly detection on Flinders Island. Biosecurity Tasmania confirming 2 larvae were found on backyard apricot trees.
This is the first time we've had a detection of grubs in locally grown fruit. And it's certainly concerning. I mean, it's fortunate that it's on Flinders Island. It's an isolated situation.
Female flies lay eggs on soft fruit, with the larvae tunnelling into the flesh and causing rot. Quarantine measures are in place from the mainland, where types of fruit fly have spread to every state and territory. The pest threatening a wide range of Tasmanian produce.
All fruit industries, vegetable, tomato, all of those industries are. So it's across all fruit industries that are susceptible to that, and especially those that wish to export their produce.
Our fruit export market is worth around $50 million. With that under threat, authorities last year developed a fruit fly-free strategy.
There is a very strong program against fruit fly and any other pests such as these underway, a review of this latest news will be happening as we speak.
Thankfully, Flinders Island isn't a commercial fruit growing area. The job now to find the source and see if it's spread to other fruit on the island.
Look, at this point in time, we don't know, and that's what a lot of the investigations are doing. So the sorts of actions which are taken obviously are removing all that fruit, collecting fruit in the area, but we just don't destroy that. We actually check every piece of fruit.
Authorities reminding Tasmanians to report any grubs found in fruit. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
Well, the rules may be a mystery to some, but today's Barnbougle polo has still drawn a crowd of thousands. The event's popularity continues to grow year on year, with world-class polo players using it as a platform to grow the game.
As a spectator sport, polo delivers in droves, even when the horses don't play ball.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
One of the world's leading players says it's no surprise polo's catching on.
Horses are my passion, polo's my passion, and I'm very lucky to be able to do it.
4 years after dipping their toes in the sport, organisers say the event is drawing bigger and bigger crowds each year, with around 4,000 coming along today.
They make it look so easy and they're so graceful and it's beautiful to watch, and it's so much harder than you actually think it's going to be.
Skills very much admired by those watching on.
We don't know the rules.
No idea what's happening out there.
Can you help us with the rules? Because I have no idea.
You can definitely tell who the good players are out there.
I'm really excited to see what happens and the rules and that type of thing.
Local business Unique Charters providing a bird's eye view of the action. While salmon shorts and sky-high popped collars kept everyone cool. The day another winner for Barnbougle.
People actually watch, which is really fantastic. Obviously, we want fashion and people having fun in the sun, but it's about the polo and everybody watches it, and we really, really love that.
Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
A multi-car pile-up caused disruption on the Tasman Highway this morning. 4 vehicles collided at around 10 o'clock at the busy intersection in front of the Aquatic Centre. Emergency crews closed lanes and directed traffic as they worked to clear the scene. Police say no one was seriously injured and the crash was caused by a vehicle going through a red light. Belly dancers are among more than 100 performers at this year's Tamar Valley Folk Festival. With more than 30 events taking place, the 3-day festival is bringing a buzz to the region.
Such a pretty little town here by the sea, and it's so lovely to see people coming into the town and actually booking in for a week's holiday.
This is the 27th edition of the event. Mona Foma fever is well and truly in the air in Hobart, with thousands flocking to Mona to soak up the festival atmosphere. There's no shortage of entertainment, with crowds impressed by the array of acts on offer.
At Mona, you come to expect the unexpected.
Bread Woman was pretty interesting. It was funny, yeah.
Crowds buzzing with excitement as they're treated to sun, sounds and surprises.
I just love the diversity of music, like stuff that I would never ever deliberately listen to. Like that person with the gimp mask and everything doing that, like, amazing. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, like Hobart's just turned the weather on for us. It's kind of like cold, warm, like bittersweet. It's really beautiful.
These Iraqi musicians transfixing those lounging on the lawns, sharing age-old music that transcends borders.
A combination of instant compositions and also partially improvisations, but partially also sharing very nostalgic tunes from Iraq.
It's very important to us to spread this word of peace and love and compassion through music. We are obligated to bring this awareness to the world and make the world a better place for another generation to come.
Performers from different genres collaborating throughout the festival.
Tonight we have Brian Jackson, who's a great hip-hop and soul and jazz musician from New York, from Brooklyn, and he's going to be leading the Southern Gospel Choir, which is a wonderful, one of our homegrown organizations.
You've got contemporary classical music and world and people from Argentina and, like, I don't know, a bit of everything.
Loyal fans soaking it up year in, year out, even as their tastes change.
We come every year, we get our 3-day pass and we just come. Yeah, I stick around to the end and then I go home and go to bed. We used to go to FOMO, but we can't do it anymore. It's the grandpa set.
Hobart Mofo frivolities finish up for good tomorrow. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
The Hobart Hurricanes are in a precarious position in the WBBL. After posting 4 for 122 with the Wacker a short time ago, the Perth Scorchers were none for 55 after 6 overs. Isabel Joyce brought up her half-century in style for the Canes in the 18th over. She finished with an unbeaten 52 from 47 balls, including 5 boundaries. Richie Porte is back in the box seat of the Tour Down Under, blitzing the field in Stage 5 to go equal on time with the Tour leader. It's the 5th time in a row Porte has won this stage, making him the true king of Willunga Hill.
It was another scorcher in Adelaide when the flag dropped. Straight away, Tassie's Scott Bowden sped ahead in a short-lived breakaway, although one of his rivals went too hard and suffered a bruised backside. Porte was flanked by BMC teammates Rowan Dennis and Simon Gerrans at the front of the peloton, waiting patiently for the climb.
So as we look out across at the McLaren Vale, there's a definite feeling that this race is about to explode.
And it did. With his title defence on the line, the Tasmanian looked like he was in trouble.
Here's Richie Porte. He's riding in the gravel behind Jay McCarthy.
Exactly.
This is a dangerous moment.
Before a swift recovery, picking off each rider, including the Ochre jersey holder, Peter Sagan.
Sagan can't match this lifting of the speed here this time around.
Then it was on.
And Ben, here he goes.
Well, you've got to do what has always been successful, the habit of a lifetime. Jay McCarthy knew he would attack at that point, and he's on him.
One-on-one, but the great one proved why he's the reigning champ.
This is the second kick, the famous second kick of Richie Porte, and this one will kill off Jay McCarthy.
Porte powering through the final kilometre up the unforgiving Willunga Hill.
There's been a massive crowd, and he comes up to the clock, grits his teeth. Now it's up to the Mr. Time himself.
His time is now equal with leader Daryl Impey, who has claimed the Ochre jersey on account back.
It's probably the hardest time that I've done this climb. It really hurt today.
The Tour title all comes down to tomorrow's final stage, a 90-kilometre criterium in Adelaide.
A Tasmanian has trumped a strong field of local and interstate competitors at the 7 Mile Beach Strategic Sprint Triathlon. More than 240 competitors turning out for the event today, which is a qualifying race for World Championships later this year.
Challenging conditions marked the first leg of the triathlon. Southerly winds and choppy waves hampering the 750-metre swim.
It would have been quite challenging. A lot of triathletes spend a lot of their time in the pool with their training, and so when you actually get them out into the open water, a little bit of chop, a little bit of breeze and that sort of stuff can mess a few up.
Then on to the 20-kilometre bike ride with a lot on the line for some competitors. 170 people turning out from interstate with the lure of World Championship qualifying points.
For a lot of them, the points they earn here today will be enough to get them into the World Age Group Championships in Queensland.
The final leg, a 5-kilometre run, with Hobart's Matthew Gapin beating out local and interstate rivals.
It was hard, actually, yeah. So I ride this track all the time, which helps, but it was definitely a tough run along that beach into the breeze, and it was nice coming home with a bit of a tail breeze, so that helped.
Victorian Rebecca Henderson was first across the line in the women's, an impressive effort at 16 years of age.
Oh, I didn't think I had it won till I came through the finish. I knew there were some good runners coming up, so I just kept going.
But there won't be much rest for some top competitors, aiming for more points from other qualifying races in the lead up to September's World Championships on the Gold Coast. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
Good evening. A warm one today for most of the state. Hobart 21, Launceston 29, Burnie 24 and Devonport 23. Most areas did hit 20 and above. 22 at Low Head, Grove and Strawn, 23 at Flinders, 24 at Lyowini and Wynyard and 28 at Ouse. The state's top was 29 at Launceston and the low was a 7 overnight at Lyowini. To the satellite, there's a long band of high-level cloud extending from the Bight into Bass Strait and northern Tasmania. Extensive areas of convective cloud at the top end aligned with a monsoon trough and high-level clouds streaming in there across central Queensland. Up closer, extensive areas of high-level cloud in Bass Strait and the northern areas of the state. Tomorrow, 2 high-pressure systems are close by in the Tasman Sea and the Bight as a cold front approaches from the west, cooling things down for Sunday. Heat lows will persist in South Australia and Western Australia, keeping conditions quite warm. On the water, east to southeasterly winds to 20 knots, seas to 2 metres about the east and west and also the south, increasing to 4 metres by the afternoon. And we remain warning free this weekend. Temperatures tomorrow are warm in Ouse with 30, Richmond 27 and Hobart 24. Launceston also hitting 30, 27 in Deloraine and 25 in Devonport. Burnie and Curry 24, Strawn 23 and possible showers for St Helens 24, Swansea 23 and showers easing in Whitemark 27. The UV tomorrow is extreme for most areas. The 3-day forecast has showers about the west and far south on Monday, fine elsewhere. Tuesday, mostly fine statewide with some westerly winds and showers about the west. And Wednesday morning, showers in the southeast and looking fine elsewhere. Around the country tomorrow, a nice sunny one in Perth, 33, Adelaide, 35, Sydney, mostly sunny, 30, and humid conditions remain at the Australian Open in Melbourne with 29 and possible storms. And it's cooled down for our night. Currently in Hobart, cloudy with 18, Launceston 21 with light showers, Devonport 20 with light showers. That's all from me. Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, Candice. A little bit of welcome relief. Well, that is all your news for now. Enjoy the tennis. We'll catch you tomorrow. Good night.